What if one of the most common health habits in the world, drinking plain water, is not fully hydrating your skin at all? We've been taught for decades that the answer to dry skin, wrinkles, and accelerated aging is simple: drink more water. But modern dermatology and nutritional science are beginning to reveal something more nuanced and far more fascinating. Because hydration is not merely about the quantity of water we consume, it is about what our cells are able to do with that water. Your skin is not a passive covering. It is a living, intelligent organ, a biological interface between your inner world and the outside environment. Every second, millions of skin cells are communicating, repairing DNA damage, managing inflammation, and producing collagen, the structural protein that gives skin its elasticity and youthful resilience. And here's the surprising part. Emerging research suggests that certain natural compounds added to water can dramatically improve how skin cells retain moisture, defend against oxidative stress, and even stimulate collagen synthesis at the cellular level. So today, we are going to explore a simple but powerful shift. Not expensive creams, not cosmetic procedures, but a metabolic upgrade hidden inside what you drink every day. Hey everyone, and welcome back. If you're passionate about natural health and evidence-based wellness, you found your tribe. For those just joining our health journey, welcome. We are thrilled to have you here as we explore the fascinating intersection of ancient wisdom and modern science. Do not forget to hit that like button if this content resonates with you, and subscribe so you never miss our deep dives into natural health solutions. We would love to know where our amazing community spans. Drop your city or country in the comments below. Now let us discover why adding specific minerals, antioxidants, and phytonutrients to your water may be one of the most overlooked longevity tools for rejuvenating the skin and stimulating collagen naturally. When we talk about hydration, most people imagine a simple equation: more water in, better skin out. But biology rarely works in straight lines. In fact, the human body is a highly regulated electrochemical system, and water is only useful when it is properly distributed across compartments inside cells, outside cells, and within the vascular system. This is what I call the hydration paradox. You can drink enough water and still have dehydrated skin at the cellular level. Research from dermatology journals, including findings published in the Journal of Clinical Cosmetic and Investigational Dermatology, shows that skin hydration depends heavily on the integrity of the skin barrier, specifically lipids like ceramides, and the balance of electrolytes such as sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Without these, water simply passes through the system without being effectively retained in the dermal layers. Think of your skin like a sophisticated garden. Water alone is not enough. If the soil is depleted of minerals, the water drains away. But when the soil is rich in structure, organic matter, minerals, microbial life, water is absorbed, stored, and used for growth. Your skin behaves in exactly the same way. Now here is where it becomes fascinating. Emerging nutritional science suggests that when we add natural electrolytes and bioactive compounds to water, such as a pinch of mineral-rich salt, citrus polyphenols, or trace plant antioxidants, we may enhance aquaporin function. Aquaporins are microscopic channels in cell membranes that regulate water movement into and out of cells. Have you ever noticed that after sweating heavily, your skin feels dull or tight, even if you drink water afterward? That is because electrolyte imbalance temporarily disrupts cellular hydration signaling. Water alone cannot fix that imbalance. It requires mineral coordination. So the first principle is simple but profound. Hydration is not absorption until it becomes cellular intelligence. And this is where we begin to shift our thinking. Instead of asking, Am I drinking enough water? We should ask, am I giving my cells what they need to use this water effectively? In the next section, we will move deeper into something even more fundamental: how your skin literally rebuilds itself every day through collagen, and why certain nutrients act like biological architects of youth. If this insight is shifting how you think about hydration, consider subscribing. We are just beginning to uncover how deeply water and cellular biology are connected. If hydration is the foundation, then collagen is the structure built upon it, the invisible architecture that determines whether skin appears firm, elastic, and resilient, or thin and fragile over time. We often think of collagen as something we lose with age, but biologically, that is an oversimplification. Collagen is constantly being dismantled and rebuilt through a dynamic process called extracellular matrix remodeling. Fibroblast cells in the dermis synthesize new collagen fibers, while enzymes like matrix metalloproteinases break down old or damaged ones. This balance is exquisitely sensitive to nutrition and oxidative stress. One of the most important discoveries in dermatological biochemistry is the role of vitamin C as a collagen cofactor. Without sufficient vitamin C, the enzymes prolyl and lysyl hydroxylase cannot stabilize collagen strands. In simple terms, collagen cannot properly form its shape. This is why severe vitamin C deficiency leads to fragile skin and delayed wound healing, a phenomenon historically observed in scurvy research. But vitamin C is only one piece of the story. Compounds such as silica, found in bamboo extract and certain mineral waters, appear to support connective tissue density. Meanwhile, plant polyphenols, especially from citrus peels, berries, and green tea, help protect collagen from glycation, a process where sugar molecules bind to proteins and stiffen them over time, making skin less flexible and more prone to wrinkles. Have you ever noticed how high sugar diets often correlate with dull, less elastic skin? That is glycation at work, a slow chemical caramelization of your connective tissue. Now here is where this becomes practically powerful. Instead of thinking about hydration as plain water alone, imagine a functional hydration base, water infused with lemon polyphenols, trace minerals, and antioxidant-rich botanicals. This is not about replacing medical treatments or skincare. It is about supporting the biochemical environment in which collagen is built. Even simple habits can matter. A glass of water with fresh citrus in the morning, or mineral-balanced hydration throughout the day, provide your fibroblasts with a more supportive internal environment to carry out repair. And yet, we must also acknowledge something equally important. Collagen degradation is not only a nutritional issue, it is deeply influenced by inflammation. Which brings us to a critical question. What if the true accelerator of visible aging is not time itself, but the silent inflammatory signals running beneath the skin every single day? If this is resonating with you, take a moment to subscribe, because in the next section, we're going to uncover how inflammation quietly reshapes your skin at the molecular level, and how hydration can become a tool to calm it from within. If collagen is the architecture of youth, then inflammation is a silent force that slowly destabilizes that architecture long before we see it in the mirror. In dermatology and aging research, chronic low-grade inflammation is often referred to as inflammaging. It is not the dramatic redness of an acute injury. It is subtle, persistent signaling cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha quietly circulating, influencing how cells repair, how collagen is maintained, and how quickly tissue ages. A landmark body of research from institutions such as the National Institute on Aging, has shown that elevated inflammatory markers correlate strongly with accelerated skin thinning, reduced elasticity, and impaired wound healing. In other words, inflammation is not just a symptom of aging, it is one of its driving mechanisms. Now here is where the story becomes more interesting. Many of the compounds we can add to water act not just as hydration enhancers, but as anti-inflammatory modulators at the cellular level. Take green tea catechins, for example, particularly EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. Studies published in journals like Journal of Investigative Dermatology suggest EGCG can downregulate inflammatory signaling pathways while also protecting collagen from UV-induced breakdown. Citrus flavonoids such as hesperidin and neraginin show similar antioxidant activity, reducing oxidative stress that contributes to visible skin aging. Think of inflammation like background noise in a finely tuned orchestra. When it is quiet, every cellular process, repair, regeneration, collagen synthesis plays in harmony. But when inflammation rises, it is like static overtaking the signal. The body is still working, but the clarity is lost. Have you ever noticed that during periods of poor sleep, emotional stress, or processed food consumption, your skin appears duller or more reactive? That is not coincidence. Stress hormones like cortisol directly increase inflammatory signaling, weakening the skin barrier and increasing water loss through transepidermal evaporation. This is why hydration alone is never enough. We must consider what is happening in the biochemical environment that water enters. A practical framework begins to emerge here. Instead of drinking plain water in isolation, we can think in terms of functional hydration windows. Morning hydration can include citrus or polyphenol-rich additions to reduce oxidative stress. Midday hydration can support electrolyte balance to stabilize cellular function. Evening hydration can be gentle and calming, supporting parasympathetic recovery. This is not about complexity. It is about intentionality. Each sip becomes a signal, either reinforcing inflammation or reducing it. And yet, inflammation is only one layer. Beneath it lies something even more fundamental: the way water itself is structured and interacts with our cells, influencing energy production, elasticity, and even how nutrients are transported. So the question naturally arises, what if hydration is not just chemical, but also structural? In the next section, we will explore a concept that challenges conventional thinking, the idea of water behavior inside cells, and how it may reshape our understanding of skin vitality from the inside out. When we picture water inside the human body, we tend to imagine a simple fluid filling space like liquid moving through pipes. But at the cellular level, water behaves very differently. It is not merely a solvent, it is an active participant in biology. Inside cells, water forms layers around proteins, DNA, and membranes, known as structured or exclusion zone water. This concept, explored in biophysical research, including the work of Dr. Gerald Pollack at the University of Washington, suggests that water near biological surfaces behaves with distinct physical properties compared to bulk water. It becomes more ordered, more gel-like, and plays a role in how energy and charge are distributed within cells. Now, whether one interprets this as fully settled science or an evolving frontier, the core insight remains compelling. Hydration is not uniform distribution, it is spatial organization. And this matters deeply for skin health. Skin cells, especially fibroblasts and keratinocytes, rely on efficient energy transfer to produce collagen, repair oxidative damage, and maintain barrier integrity. Mitochondria, the energy-producing organelles, function optimally when their microenvironment is stable, hydrated, and rich in electrolytes and antioxidants. Think of it like a river system. It is not enough that water exists in the landscape. The flow, the structure, the minerals carried within it all determine whether surrounding ecosystems thrive or degrade. Similarly, cellular water quality influences whether skin cells are energized or fatigued. This is where hydration becomes more than intake. It becomes cellular physics in motion. Certain natural compounds may subtly influence this internal environment. Electrolytes like magnesium and potassium support membrane potential, helping cells regulate water movement. Polyphenols reduce oxidative stress that can disrupt mitochondrial efficiency. Even mild acidity from citrus can influence enzymatic activity in ways that support metabolic balance. Have you ever noticed that after a period of dehydration or poor diet, your skin doesn't just feel dry, it feels tired? That sensation is not just surface level. It reflects reduced cellular energy availability and impaired microcirculation. This is why hydration strategies that include minerals and bioactive compounds are increasingly being explored in integrative dermatology and nutrition science. Not as replacements for medical care, but as supportive inputs that optimize the internal environment where regeneration occurs. If this perspective is expanding how you think about water, consider subscribing, because what we are building here is a new model of skin health, not as a cosmetic surface issue, but as a dynamic energy system. In the next section, we will move into one of the most powerful and often overlooked connections in human biology, the gut-skin axis, and how what you add to your water may influence your microbiome, inflammation levels, and ultimately the visible aging of your skin. If the skin is the visible boundary of aging, the gut is often its hidden origin story. Modern systems biology increasingly supports what clinicians now call the gut-skin axis, a bidirectional communication network between intestinal microbiota, immune signaling, and skin health. This means your complexion is not only shaped by what you apply externally, but by the microbial and metabolic activity happening deep within your digestive tract. Research published in journals like Frontiers in Microbiology and Journal of Clinical Medicine has shown that imbalances in gut bacteria, a state known as dysbiosis, are associated with inflammatory skin conditions, impaired barrier function, and even accelerated visible aging. The mechanism is not mysterious. When the gut lining becomes more permeable, inflammatory compounds such as lipopolysaccharides can enter circulation, increasing systemic inflammation that eventually reaches the skin. Now here is where hydration becomes more than hydration. When we add certain natural compounds to water, particularly prebiotic plant polyphenols, mild organic acids like citrus, or trace minerals, we are not only interacting with skin biology, we are subtly influencing the gut ecosystem that regulates inflammation from the inside out. Polyphenols from citrus peel, green tea, and certain herbs act as selective fuel sources for beneficial bacteria, such as lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. These microbes, in turn, produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which help strengthen the gut barrier and reduce systemic inflammation. And when inflammation decreases at its source, the skin often reflects that change with improved clarity, reduced redness, and more stable hydration. Think of your body as a garden, connected by underground irrigation systems. The skin is the flowering surface, but the roots, the microbiome, determine whether that garden is resilient or fragile. Have you ever experienced clearer skin after improving your diet for just a week or two? That rapid shift is rarely just coincidence. It reflects changes in microbial signaling and inflammatory load. This is also where hydration timing and composition begin to matter. A morning hydration routine that includes mineral balance and plant-based polyphenols may help set the microbial environment for the day. Gentle hydration throughout the day supports digestion and nutrient transport. Even simple additions like citrus or herbal infusions can subtly shift gut ecology over time. But perhaps the most important insight here is this: skin health is not a topical problem trying to be solved internally. It is a systems problem expressing itself externally. And systems can be reprogrammed. If this idea resonates with you, consider subscribing, because in the next section, we are going to bring everything together into something practical and deeply human, a daily hydration ritual designed not just for water intake, but for cellular regeneration, collagen support, and long-term skin resilience. At this point, we can see a clear pattern emerging. Hydration is not a single act, but a biological conversation between water, minerals, cells, microbiome, and metabolism. The question is no longer, are you drinking enough? But rather, are you sending the right signals to your body every time you hydrate? This is where we arrive at what I call the daily ritual of regeneration. A simple, structured approach to turning hydration into a longevity signal rather than a passive habit. Let us begin in the morning when the body is most receptive. After overnight fasting, mild dehydration, and a natural rise in cortisol, the first hydration input sets the tone for metabolic signaling. A glass of water that includes trace minerals and a source of citrus polyphenols can help restore electrolyte balance while gently activating antioxidant pathways. In biochemical terms, this supports cellular redox balance, reducing oxidative stress load before the day even begins. Midday hydration plays a different role. Here the focus shifts to stability and energy efficiency. Electrolyte-rich hydration helps maintain membrane potential in cells, which is critical for muscle function, cognitive clarity, and even skin perfusion. When circulation is optimal, the dermis receives more oxygen and nutrients, directly influencing collagen turnover and skin vibrancy. Evening hydration becomes about recovery and downregulation. The goal is not stimulation, but restoration. Gentle hydration supports lymphatic clearance and assists the body in removing metabolic waste accumulated during the day. This is the quiet phase of regeneration, when fibroblasts repair tissue and the skin barrier resets. Across all three phases, one principle remains constant: consistency matters more than intensity. Biology responds not to occasional extremes, but to repeated signals over time. A single antioxidant-rich glass of water will not transform skin, but a daily pattern of supportive hydration can gradually shift inflammatory tone, improve barrier resilience, and enhance collagen maintenance. Have you ever noticed how your skin reflects your lifestyle weeks later, not days? That delay is biology in action. Cellular turnover in skin takes time, approximately 28 to 40 days in younger individuals and longer as we age. This means every hydration decision you make today is quietly shaping the skin you will see a month from now. And perhaps the most empowering insight is this: your biology is listening, not passively, but continuously. Every sip of water is a message, either reinforcing imbalance or supporting repair. So the real question becomes not what you are drinking, but what you are training your cells to become through repetition. And in the final section, we will bring this entire framework together, connecting hydration, collagen, inflammation, and the gut-skin axis into a unified vision of human renewal, and why this simple shift in thinking may change how we understand aging itself. We began with a provocative idea. What if plain water alone is not the full story of skin hydration and aging? What if the real science of youthful skin is not found in a single nutrient, but in the way hydration interacts with the body's deeper biological systems? Now we can see the answer is more integrated than most people realize. Hydration is not just fluid intake, it is cellular communication. Collagen is not just structural protein, it is living architecture under constant reconstruction. Inflammation is not just a response, it is a biological tempo that can accelerate or slow visible aging. Water inside the body is not passive, it participates in cellular energy dynamics and molecular organization. And the gut is not separate from the skin. It is a root system that shapes the quality of what we see on the surface. When we bring these systems together, a new model of skin health emerges, one that is not based on quick fixes or cosmetic masking, but on reprogramming the internal environment where regeneration happens every day. We return then to the question we started with. Can something as simple as what you add to water influence how your skin ages? The scientific answer is nuanced, but powerful. While no single drink can override genetics or lifestyle, the cumulative effect of consistent supportive hydration signals may meaningfully influence inflammation, barrier function, and collagen maintenance over time. And that changes how we think about daily habits. Because aging is not only something that happens to us, it is also something we participate in through repetition, environment, and biological input. So today, the challenge is simple, but profound. Choose one small refinement in your hydration routine. Add something that supports minerals, antioxidants, or gut-friendly plant compounds. Observe not just your skin, but your energy, your clarity, your internal rhythm over time. Not as a miracle, but as a signal. If this exploration resonated with you, join us in this growing movement of science-backed longevity thinking. Like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe because we are just beginning to understand how deeply human biology can be influenced by simple, intelligent daily choices. And perhaps the real shift is this. Your skin is not just aging, it is responding. And when we learn to speak its biological language, we don't chase youth, we support vitality.